What's happening, Hoodlum Gang? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Hoodie from the Hood, aka your friend from that big old end. Right back at y'all once again. And before we get started, man, I just wanted to say a couple things regarding my last two videos, and I'm gonna leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? No sense in keep going back and forth. I feel how I feel. People feel how they feel. It is what it is. But quick story, man. This was in 2008, and I was in East Mesa County Jail, which is across the street from Bailey, Facility A, East Mesa Juvenile Hall, Donovan. If you know that area, you know that area. It's a camp. I was doing a violation, I think a year flat, and it's a working camp, so a lot of people get jobs there. I had ended up working in a laundry, and it was this dude. If you ever been to East Mesa and you worked in a laundry, it was this dude named Bruce, black dude. He ran the laundry. Bruce was a bitch ass nigga. Like, he'd be cool one day, and the next minute he'd just be on some bullshit. He was kind of disrespectful to everybody. I'm saying all that to say, there was this one particular time that Bruce had disrespected one of the Southsiders. He was an older dude, already in his 40s at the time. I think he was a resident. Didn't bang, but you know, when you that race, you either gotta go Paisa or homie. And he was a homie. And I guess he was talking to one of his homies off to the side because Bruce had disrespected him. Like Bruce used to do this all the time. You'll call him to ask him a question. He'll look you dead in your eyes and wave you off and keep walking. Like shit like that. So I guess he had did something along those lines to the SA dude. The SA dude, who, by the way, he was cool, man. He was cool with everybody. But I guess he had started saying some racial slurs, you know, like referring to Bruce as a Mayata. He was talking to his homie. I guess he was saying it like low, but one of the blacks heard him. One of the blacks confronted him about it. Like, what you just say? He was like, dude, I'm not talking to you. He like, I don't give a fuck. I could hear you. Whatever. It started to be a little commotion, and it was kind of like a little mini standoff type thing. Anyways, when we went on our little lunch break, people hollered at each other, and he came over there and he apologized to the whole black card, homie. They made him do that, even though he didn't say it directly to a black. He was talking about the dude Bruce, who none of us like, but he's still a black man, homie. He apologized, and they broke him off with some 113s. If you don't know what a 113s is, that's 113 burpees. I think 3 count workout. Now, you might say they should have whooped him. You might say they shouldn't have. I have no doubt if he would have actually called one of us that. But first of all, he probably would have got stole on if he would have said that. But in the case that he didn't get stole on saying that to somebody's face, quite sure they would have whooped him. But since he was talking to one of his people, and I don't know if the dude was eavesdropping or if he was really right next to them, but he heard it and he confronted it. So don't tell me they don't check their people over disrespecting blacks. Another thing, it's funny how y'all made that about Southerners. Y'all instantly start talking about the Southerners and what they do. But I know we haven't had the best relationship with them within the past probably 20, 25 years. But we have had a great relationship with the North Daniels and the Bulldogs and Pisces and just regular civilians. So that video was disrespecting all Mexicans. I don't know how y'all just made it about Sudanos, but that shows that y'all can't think outside the box, because that's instantly who y'all start pointing fingers at, as if Sudanos are the only ones that are Mexican. Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. But anyways, today's topic, Does hip hop belong to black people? That came from somebody who was arguing with me in the comments. I can't even remember. Somebody with no profile pic. We're gonna call him Mr. Irrelevant. And I said it does, but it doesn't. Let me explain what I mean by that. Of course, we started hip hop. Everybody knows that. But what I will tell you is hip hop has transformed into something that is not what it once was in the 80s. It's on a bigger platform, it's worldwide, and when stuff gets bigger, more hands get into the pot and change the dynamics of the game. In the early 90s, once the powers that be saw what hip-hop was doing and how much influence it had and where it was going, they had to put their hand in the cookie jar. They had to control it like they do anything else that is going to make billions of dollars. We slowly, especially in the 2000s, by the 2000s, we started to see things that wasn't okay in hip-hop. And that's because the powers that be have an agenda to push, and they do that through artists and record labels and clothing, whatever the case is. So when you see me going at people like Tiger or Whack 100, you got to understand that they're a part of that industry that is not pushing what the average black man or black woman is pushing, homie. They pushing something totally different. That's why I keep saying they're not a part of us. Y'all just looking at the color of their skin and riding with it. And I'm telling you, they're pushing something else. They're supposed to cause chaos and do all this bullshit that they doing. They don't care about niggas that is going to be out here on the front line that got to go to the liquor store and run into people. They don't care. Anybody who would look at a video like that and say, that's cool, I'm doing that. Or anybody who would get on these clubhouses and podcasts and spew the type of stuff that Whack 100 is doing, he's pushing a different agenda because he's a part of that industry, and we all know that that industry ain't for us, homie. They pushing a whole different narrative in line, homie. Somebody else had told me about BET and Rap City and all this stuff that we don't own. Yeah, we owned it once upon a time, a long time ago. We haven't owned it since about the time that I just told you, the early 90s. That BET been sold to a white person. And all these other shows, man. All these magazines, these double XLs, and look at the freshman class. We're confused every year. Like, how are these the freshmen? How are these the top? With the exception of a couple of them you might agree with, we overall don't agree with it. That's because it's not us. This is what I mean. Yes, we may have came up with it, and we may make the music for the majority, but it's not necessarily us. And to say that other people ain't a part of it, that's crazy, because they are, man. Can't be mad at them for being influenced by us, for being great. We influenced them, and now they're a part of it. And it just is what it is, homie. You can't take that from nobody. Like I said, man, if you go to these concerts, man, they be 80% white. Hispanics, they support a lot. They support a lot of black artists. Man, if you go to a rap show right now, especially on the West Coast, you're gonna see a lot of Hispanics there. You're not gonna see niggas like that. So to keep on feeling entitled to something, not saying it's not ours, but what I'm saying is you can't say they're not a part of it. And we're not the number one consumers of it anymore. Like I said, we listen to it for free. These white people is buying it, homie. They actually got channels where they're breaking down lyrics, and they're in love with hip-hop still. Blacks don't care about none of that, man. I ain't gonna say overall. Of course you have black channels that, care about hip-hop and stuff like that. Usually a lot of older people. You don't see too many young people that care about bars and shit like that. White people, they still care about stuff like that, bro. You could listen to Anthony Fantano, however you say his name. It's a lot of people who go deep in depth when it comes to rap lyrics in albums and overall projects, bro. Like they just have a different feel. Niggas just care about, they wanna hear some bullshit. They wanna hear some. As long as you talking about sipping lean, smoking ops, bending the block, popping perks, and it's auto tuned, and you singing. That's all niggas care about nowadays, man. They don't care about Nas. They don't care about Kendrick. We just saw that. They don't care about J. Cole. They don't care about shit like that. But yeah, like I said, we're not the number one consumers anymore. So, does it technically belong to us? Yes. Can we sit up here and say it's just ours and nobody else's? No. And we could look at designer, homie. Black people are the number one consumers of these designers and these foreign cars and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But we damn sure don't make those. Ain't no niggas named Versace, Dior, Louis Vuitton, and Gucci, and Ferragamo. These are French and Italian people who are white. But when you think of designer, you think of black people. But that doesn't mean that that's ours. But it gets associated with us. So that's what I mean by like rap. Yes, it's ours, but we're not even the number one consumers of it no more as far as purchasing music and going to concerts and stuff like that. It's not majority black people there no more. So I don't know, man. That's what I meant by it's ours, but it's for everybody. If you can't see that, I don't know what else to tell you. Oh yeah, somebody else said that Hispanics are trying to dress like us. Once again, what is dressing like us? Blacks don't make these clothes that we wear, especially the stuff y'all like to wear. Skinny jeans been popular the last 10 to 15 years. We can all agree that white people was wearing skinny jeans way back in the day. The rock stars was wearing them in the 80s. They had slashes in their pants and their knees out when niggas thought that shit was corny. And now niggas do shit like that. They'll buy some purple jeans or whatever, or off-white or whatever. And it pretty much just looked like what the punk rockers and skateboarders been wearing, if you want to be technical. But y'all consider that nigga swag. Like I said, and then, with these designer belts, don't get it twisted, I got a few. But y'all consider that nigga swag. So you telling me if an essay wears some skinny jeans with a designer belt and some Jordans, and you'll say he's trying to dress like a nigga. But even Jordans, yes, named after a nigga, but he don't make them shoes. He don't design them shoes. So y'all really gotta help me. I'm really fucking lost, bro. I'm really lost with what y'all be talking about. I'm saying all that to say, man, hip-hop is for everybody. If all this other shit is for everybody, man, let it go, man. Like I said, the last 20, 25 years, it's been rough in Southern California, racially. Not everywhere in Southern California, but it's kind of been rough. And things are going back to the 70s and 80s. It's getting a little bit back together, homie. Relationships behind the wall is better than they have been since the 70s and 60s and 80s and stuff like that. But a lot of y'all don't understand that. So y'all gonna keep pushing this bullshit. Y'all gonna keep on listening to people pushing this bullshit. You gotta understand that essays have a different program, and even if they wanted to speak out, which some of them do to a certain extent, they barely can have a channel. They barely can do interviews. They have different politics than us, homie. So even if they feel that shit is wrong, they might tell you like, yeah, bro, that shit is wrong. But they don't want to be the one saying that out loud because they have different politics. We have limited politics. We can do what the fuck we want. So yeah, I can call my people out publicly, and it's a little different for them to do that, even though they feel you, even though they see you, and they'll tell you about their people too. Like, man, that fool's a bitch. They can't do what we do, bro. Just like they can't just call niggas out for the fade. Just they can't trip on niggas for being from different gangs. We can do all of that in the county and prison technically if we want to, depending on what yards you hit. They can't do that. They have different politics. So please stop telling me they wouldn't do this. They're not in a position to do that. I am. Because unfortunately and fortunately for us, we have looser rules. You understand me? But like I said, y'all made this about Southerners, homie, and this was about Mexicans as a people. Southerners ain't the only one that's Mexican. Anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Does hip-hop still belong to us, even though we don't consume that shit? We're not out here standing in lines for tickets, going to concerts. We ain't doing all that. Some people are, but we are the minority when it comes to that shit. But y'all still claim it as yours. Y'all let me know. Hoodie from the hood. AKA your friend from that big O end. I'm out.